lexical analysis is done to perform lexical analysis is used for performing tokenization. So you may have noticed kind of mga source codes ninyo. But have you ever wondered how a compiler or interpreter manages to kanang tawag na to process kanang source code nga inyong ginatry compile or parun? So actually um before nga mo run ang inyong code, it goes first into the process of tokenization. So in tokenization, gina-break down ang inyong source code into simple units of grammar called a token. So a token is the simplest unit in a source code. It is a sequence of characters that can be treated as a unit in the grammar of the programming language. Okay. For example, here is a Python code. I'm assuming that everyone knows Python in here or is familiar with Python. Kay katong nag-chat ko sa GC na to, no, tanamang ko og unsa ang inyong familiar na programming language, and somebody replied nga Python daw, and then wala ram po niya ang other people. So yeah, I'll be using Python for most of my examples in the module, and here's the slides. So here is a simple if statement and assignment statement sa Python. So we have if length is lesser than 10, then length is equal to length plus extension. So we will identify the tokens in this piece of code. So first we have the word or the token if. After that, we have the token open parenthesis. Next, we have the token nga length. And then the token nga lesser than, followed by 10, greater than, and then colon. We also have length, but wala na nako siya gilista dire. Balik because na naman siya sa number 3. After length, we have the equal na symbol. Then again, length, and then plus, and then extension. Okay? So is this clear, everyone? So these are the tokens of this source code. Questions? Wala? Okay. So when we perform tokenization, it's also important that we create a parse table first. So a parse table lists the tokens of a language and their corresponding name. Okay, so a parse table lists the tokens of a language and their corresponding name. Common token names are as follows. Identifier, which is a name the programmer chooses. So, mo na siya imong mga variable names, okay? Can I identify this? Oops. Okay. Next, we have keywords. Keywords are names already in the programming languages. They're also sometimes called as reserved words. So, kaning reserved words, dili ani mo siya pwedeng magamit for your variable names. So, for example, sa Python, we have the keyword nga if. Um, yeah. So, example sa Python, we have the keyword if. Since it's already a reserved word sa Python, you cannot use it as a variable name nimo. Actually, mag-error na si Python if gamiton nimo ang word nga if as your variable name. Next, we have the separators or sometimes called the punctuation characters and pair delimiters. Usually, mo ni sila ang kanang mga parentheses, um, brackets, after the braces. Sometimes sa Python na ang iyang colon. Sa mga comma separated nga languages, we have not comma separated, colon, semicolon separated nga languages, we have the semicolon. Mabito na siya ka ng mga running jokes sa mga nga pages nga nawala daw ko nung semicolon mo nag-error ang ilahang program kung compile. So, muna siya ang semicolon. It's one of our separators. Next, we have operators. So, operators are symbols that operate on arguments and produce results. So, for example, we have plus, um, minus, divide, multiply. We also have logical operations. For example, and. We also have or. Unsa pa man? Not equal. Diba? Greater than or equal to, lesser than or equal to, equal. Nga na. So these are examples of symbols. These are some examples of operators. And we have literals. So a literal can either be a numeric, logical, textual, or reference literals. For example, ang number 3.14, it can be a literal. Usually po, kanang literals kay mo na atong ginasave sa atong mga variables. If you have noticed. So aside ana, ano pa man examples of literals? You have your name. So let's just say John Doe. We also have Boolean values, true and false. This is for Python. Nga na ilang true and false. Capital lang T and then capital. So these are some examples of literals. And then we have comments. So sa Python, ang comment ga start of hashtag or I think it's pound sign or ampersand. I'm not sure. Hashtag na lang. So hashtag, this is a comment. Okay. For other languages, na I can comment nga start of slash slash slash. Yeah, slash comment. Then, napoy other languages na mag-comment by slash and then asterisk comment. Then asterisk to close the comment. So usually kaning third nga example nako it's four comments nga mo span o two or more lines. Kaya ang basihan naman niya ha kay kanira kaning open and then closing as symbols. Also, kaning comments is actually optional. It depends on the programming language if iyahang i-consider ang comments as tokens or iyahang i-discard. Because there are some tokenizers nga pag makita siya comment, ihanan din ng ilabay ka na siya nga line of code. Dili na niya i-process or dili na niya i-tokenize. However, napoy uban programming languages which tokenizes comments. So, I guess some examples would be those languages nga mag-generate of documentation based on comments. So of course needs sa compiler nga maka-generate o kanang documentation of the out of those comments. So therefore, dapat yan yung i-process ang comments. However, there are moto siya na po other languages nga do not do that. Therefore, they discard comments. So yeah, this depends on the compiler. Depends on the compiler. Okay, questions about this? None? Okay, let's proceed. So here's an example parse table for Python. So we have identifiers, uh, variable names na to. Address is enabled by. For our keywords, we have if, elif, else, for, of, def. Getting def, if you can remember, we use it for defining functions in Python. And then we also have separators. We have open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and colon. For our operators, we have plus, minus, equal, plus equal, minus equal, greater than, lesser than. For literals, we have the string na Norway, we have the Boolean value na true, and then we have the number 3.14. And then for the comment, this hashtag, this is a comment. Okay, now that we have built the parse table for our language, we can then create parang a representation of its tokens together with its name. Say for example, we have the code if a is lesser than 10 in Python. We can represent it like this as an array of token name and token value na pair. So first we have the keyword if. Okay, so let's go back to the previous slide. So ang keyword again, itong example nga token values niya is if, elif, else, for, of, and def. So that's why sa next na slide na to, ang if, we assign it with the name keyword. Next, we have open parenthesis as a separator. We have a as an identifier. We have lesser than as an operator. We have 10 as a literal. We have greater than as a separator. And then lastly, we have colon as a separator. Okay? So again, ang atong gipang sulat diri nga colon, ang kani atong magipang sulat diri kana siya. We just base it on the slide. Kani siya. Yeah, kani. We just base it on the previous slide. You know, the identifier, keyword, separator, operator, literal, and comment. That's how we came up with this.